Ever wondered what men's body language is really trying to tell you? We are about to uncover 6 surprising ways high-value men use body language. You've probably heard that if a guy makes prolonged eye contact, it's a clear sign of attraction. But here's the catch. Sometimes it's just a matter of cultural politeness or habit. So can we really trust these signals? And at the end, we'll reveal the one body language signal that's completely misunderstood but can speak volumes if you catch it. Starting with gesture number 1. Imagine you're at a social event, maybe a party or work gathering, and you notice a guy across the room. Every time you glance his way, you catch him looking at you. Not just a quick glance, but prolonged, intense eye contact. You start to wonder, could this mean he's attracted to me? You see, prolonged eye contact is often seen as one of the most obvious signs of interest or attraction. But here's something surprising. Not every instance of lingering eye contact has to do with romantic feelings. It might actually mean something entirely different. Think of prolonged eye contact like a complex social cue, kind of like a handshake. Some people use it as a tool for connection, but others might simply do it out of habit or cultural norms. For instance, in some cultures, maintaining eye contact is seen as a sign of respect or politeness. According to psychologist Dr. Adrian, how people interpret eye contact can be shaped by their personality, cultural background, and even their comfort level in social situations. The truth is, prolonged eye contact doesn't always mean attraction. It could simply be a reflection of his personality or cultural norms. If you're looking to interpret this gesture, consider the broader context and how it fits into the overall interaction. Is he showing others signs of interest, like engaging in conversation or leaning closer? Remember, body language needs context. Eye contact alone isn't enough to draw conclusions. Gesture number 2. You're sitting across from a guy at a cafe or maybe during a casual conversation, and you notice him leaning in towards you while you talk. It feels personal, like he's creating an intimate space just for the two of you. Naturally, your mind jumps to one conclusion. He's interested, right? Leaning in is often seen as a strong signal of engagement or attraction. But before you assume it's a sure sign of romantic interest, there's a twist. What if his leaning has nothing to do with attraction at all? Imagine leaning in like a bridge. Sometimes it's built to connect two people, but other times it's just a way to hear better in a noisy environment. According to body language expert Patty Wood, leaning in can simply be a subconscious reaction to environmental factors like trying to catch every word in a crowded or loud space. It's also common in people who are naturally good listeners. They lean in as a way to show they're engaged. The truth is, leaning in doesn't always signal romantic interest. It can simply mean he's focused on the conversation or trying to hear better. If you want to know if this gesture carries deeper meaning, watch for other signs of attraction, like physical touch or playful banter. Remember, one gesture doesn't tell the whole story. Always look for patterns. Gesture number 3. Imagine you're chatting with a guy and he's fidgeting, tapping his foot, playing with his watch, or even fiddling with a pen. You start to wonder if his nervousness is a sign of something deeper. Could it mean he's into you but too shy to express it? We often associate nervous fidgeting with attraction, assuming the person is anxious because they like us. But here's the catch. Nervous fidgeting can mean so much more than just romantic interest. In fact, it might have nothing to do with you at all. Think of fidgeting like a pressure valve. Some people use it to release nervous energy, and it doesn't always point to romantic feelings. Psychologists explain that fidgeting is often just a stress response. Studies by the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, ADAA, show that social settings can cause nervous behaviors in individuals who are naturally more introverted, regardless of whether they feel attracted to someone in the room. The truth is, nervous fidgeting doesn't automatically mean he's attracted to you. It could be a response to general anxiety or social discomfort. To decode if it's about you, look for a shift in his behavior when he's around other people. Does he seem relaxed when talking to others, but only fidgety around you? If so, you might be onto something. Remember, nervous habits often reflect internal stress, not just romantic feelings. Gesture number 4. You're having a conversation with a guy and suddenly you notice him lightly touching your arm or shoulder. It's brief and casual, but it catches your attention. You can't help but think, could this little touch means he's attracted to me? You see, a subtle touch is often seen as a sign of flirtation or romantic interest. But here's a surprising twist. Sometimes that light touch could mean something completely different, unrelated to attraction. Consider subtle touches like punctuation in a conversation. Just like someone might use an exclamation point to emphasize a point, a touch can serve as a way to emphasize a connection. However, research by social psychologist Dr. Michael Argyle shows that not all touch is romantic. In fact, some people naturally express warmth and friendliness through touch, especially in cultures where physical contact is more common. Well, the truth is, a subtle touch doesn't always mean attraction. It might just be a sign of friendliness and an attempt to create a connection. To figure out if it's romantic, pay attention to whether his touch becomes more frequent or personal over time. Is he making more effort to close the physical gap between you? Remember, not all touch carries the same meaning. Context is key to decoding these moments. Gesture number 5. Imagine you're talking with a guy and out of nowhere, you notice his eyebrows lift for just a split second. It's quick, almost unnoticeable, but you catch it. You start wondering, is this a sign he's impressed or maybe even attracted to me? Interestingly, raised eyebrows are often thought to signal surprise or admiration, and many people assume it's a clear indicator of interest. But here's something unexpected. Raising eyebrows can mean something far more neutral. And sometimes it's not what you think at all. Imagine eyebrow raising like a reflex. It happens fast and often without much thought. This gesture can be a subconscious response to various emotions like curiosity, agreement, or even confusion. According to body language expert Alan Please, the eyebrow flash is commonly used as a non-verbal greeting, a way to signal recognition or friendliness. In fact, people often raise their eyebrows when they're simply intrigued by what someone is saying. The truth is, raising eyebrows isn't always a sign of romantic interest. It could simply be a signal of curiosity or recognition. If you're trying to decode his intentions, watch for consistency. Does he show other signs of attraction, or is this just a part of his natural reactions during the conversation? Remember, the smallest gestures can mean different things depending on the person and the context. Now, let's explore another gesture that often raises questions and assumptions. As promised, here's gesture number 6. You're mid-conversation with the guy and you notice him crossing his arms. Immediately, you think, does this mean he's closed off or not interested? Maybe he's feeling defensive, right? It's hard not to interpret it as a bad sign. Crossed arms are commonly seen as a barrier or a defensive posture, and many people think it signals disinterest or even hostility. But here's a twist. Crossing arms doesn't always mean what you think. Sometimes it can signal something entirely different. Think of crossed arms like a multi-purpose tool. It can be used in a variety of ways depending on the situation. Studies by Dr. Albert Mehrabian, a pioneer in nonverbal communication, suggest that people often cross their arms when they're deep in thought or simply feeling comfortable in a particular setting. In colder environments, it's even a way to retain warmth. So, if he's crossing his arms, it might not be about you at all. The truth is, crossed arms aren't always a sign of defensiveness. They could simply indicate that he's focused or even just cold. To truly interpret this gesture, look for accompanying cues like facial expressions or his tone of voice. If he's still engaged and attentive, don't worry too much about his posture. Remember, context is everything. One gesture can have multiple meanings depending on the environment. Now, what's the most confusing body language signal you've ever encountered? Share your experiences in the comments below. If you're interested to learn more about self-confidence, be sure to watch our video about 7 inner talk secrets for accelerated personal growth to learn more about the power of you. See you there.